we sort of provide you a network of individuals to help you through your journey. Because I understand most of the students who join us have never written code a day in their life. So we provide you with access to mentors. Some of them are in professional spaces, some of them, like myself, freelancing. A lot of resources are sent for your self-study. As you focus on your classwork, when you get free time, you add another skill on top. Because as we can appreciate healthcare right now, especially when COVID came and went, so much is moving into technology, and healthcare is catching up compared to other fields such as finance, agriculture, and education. So this is also a call to action to all of us. If you're interested in learning an extra skill, especially being that doctor who codes, it's a big deal. We provide you with the platform so you can collaborate on a few projects, and we've had them. Some of them, my next speaker can attest. Earlier in the year, they had a project for the students, and we were pleased to be partners with them, support their ICT needs. We're also in the process of availing a platform for a few of the members of the community are in the process of availing a platform for our study, actually, because, again, finding resources in medical school is also a challenge. So we also, a few of us are also working on something I will be able to share with you soon. That's it for me. So we have a table outside there. If you have questions, you can come. We have a conversation. Thank you.
Mpige makofi tena. The next online we'll have Ruby Oswere. She's the founder of Amsun Running Club. So mpige makofi. Yes, simuone tu amevaa skirt, anakimbianga kila siku, so mpigie tu.
All protocols observed. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ruby Oswere, and I am an incoming 6th-year medical student at the University of Nairobi. I'm going to be very brief. So my medical school journey did not exactly go as planned. When I was in my 2nd year, I was unable to pass, and so that really stressed me out, because I needed to go through something called a retake, which you will soon discover is not a very pleasant experience. But out of that, I started running as a way to just improve my mental health, to find an outlet. Everyone is talking about, have something else on the side. And so that was me. And so I started running in 2019, became more consistent during the pandemic. And then in 2021, I founded the Amsun Running Club. So I'll send this presentation for you to have a better look. But in a nutshell, there has been a fund drive within the medical school called Leave No Medic Behind. It started in 2017. So when I started the running club, I thought it would be nice to organize a charity run. So that is where the Leave No Medic Behind run began. We had our first run in 2022, that was last year. We were able to support about 11 medical students, and we had our second run this year. Amsun Code community was so gracious to build a website for us, so you can check it out and learn more about what we do. And the fund is now expanding to accept beneficiaries from 4 other medical schools, and 20 students have been supported from the efforts of this year's run. So how can you plug in? The running club is open to all levels of fitness. We welcome walkers. So our sign-up form is at the foyer, so you can sign up, and also we'll be sure to send a link to your WhatsApp group. We organize weekly runs and other events. So for example, we have a hike coming up, so you're welcome to join, and sign up to be a volunteer as well in the charity run. It usually happens in the 2nd semester. And if you're having financial constraints, you can apply to be a beneficiary. The application also opens in the second semester. So thank you so much. In brief, that is who we are and what we do at the Running Club. And I hope that my journey inspires you, that even if things don't go according to plan, you can find a silver lining. And through my experience of going through a retake, I was able to discover a passion that has helped create a lovely community of runners that we hope you will join. Thank you so much.
Mpigie makofi tena. So she's being honest that sometimes things may not work, isn't it? But you keep moving on and you identify something you can do. Si ndio? Ebu stretch, fanyeni hivi, mnakaa tu mnalala. Stretch. Yes, stretch your knees, those knees. Nowadays tunaitanga tu mkono. We used to be told origin, insertion. So next online we'll have a very interesting lecturer also. He is a neonatologist. He is one of those people who after exam he goes to Twitter and you know you either did your own things or you did the right thing. So he's called Dr. Brian Maugo, a very controversial Twitter handler. But anyway, clap for him as he comes. He's a really good. Karibu sana daktari.
Acha kunichomea maze. I guess I've spoken a lot of English over here. I'm very confused. Mi wanga tu ni mse wa Kiswahili. Sheng. Niaje? My name is Dr. Brian Maugo. I'm a neonatologist, pediatrician, lecturer at the University of Nairobi, Department of Pediatrics and Child Health. It's a pleasure to see all of you over here. I can clearly see how many people we're going to handle when you come to 5th year. This year we did 460. I can only imagine all of you coming at that point to also do pediatric rotations. For me, a lot has been said about me on the side by some of these guys, but I'm not a bad person. Mi ni mtu mpoa. I give you all the advice that you need. We are not gatekeepers. We are not here to make you stay in medical school forever. The 50% mark sounds like something achievable. When I came to medical school, mi ni mtu wa Sunshine. Kuna saa Sunshine hapa? No, Sunshine iliropoka ikakuwa shida ingine. Any Sunshinearian? No, so I came from Sunshine. I passed my exams. And when I came here, I met the Mangu crew, the Alliance crew. Maze, I hated those guys. They are awful, Maze. They rubbed it on you, man. I'm Alliance, Mangu, Precious Blood, and the other schools. But I was coming from a school which was just had started. I came to medical school in 2001. And what happened was the first exam was biochemistry. My classmate here is Professor Obimbo, by the way. Was my classmate. Ando alitoka hizo mashule, walikuwa naangalia tu hivi. So the first exam was biochem. But vile umekuja medical school, you guys feel like mmefika. So I'll walk from Chiromo to town. Sometimes unatembea na lab coat kama hii just to show people that you're in medical school. Hakuna kusoma. Knowledge was meant to be absorbed, you know. Unaambiwa inaingia. Then you're given the biochemistry exam, the first one. So you come una freestyle kama kawaida. You just come in with your brain, right? Ile A ulipata. That doesn't apply. So the first one I got at 38%. 38. Karibu nilie. That was a rude shock, eh? You're like, 38, what does 38 mean? You have never seen it in your life. You're only into a 90s, 100, all that, eh? Now you're faced with a 38. And that's when you discover this is a different ball game. Hakuna kusoma transniting. You're meant to be very consistent. Every day you need to be reading. And reading not for exams, but to gain that knowledge for the eventually it's going to be helping you as a doctor. But you end up being more of you kind of manage your time well, try and read almost on a daily basis, getting some free time here and there, and making sure that you keep up with the rest. Because ukizuba tu hivi, the rest are gone. Eh? But it's not a competition. You're only here to better yourself, okay? Don't compete with the other friends. I had a very good friend who used to read all the time, and every morning and in to class, I did not sleep. Eh? This is what I read. I did not sleep. You guys slept. I did not sleep. And it went on like that for 1 year. Paka nilimblok. That time we don't have, you know, he's talking, but I'm not listening to him. Because that pressure, I don't need it, okay? And every time amesoma hivyo, bado namshinda. That was sweet victory hapo ilikuwa kidogo. So don't compete with anybody. You just better yourself. And for me, to advise is kind of try and have a social life. Medical school, itakufanya ukue cheesy if you are not careful. Okay? You can lose it. There's a lot of pressure to read and perform. And you always, somehow you'll end up being competitive. All you guys are the best. You tend to compete. You've been taught how to compete in class. But you need to spare time for yourself to actually be a social being. You'll notice some of your friends, watamaliza at 4th year, they'll be making money and all that stuff. That should not stress you. See, tuko hapa on the long game. We are playing the long game. Them, by 40, watambiwa, you're fired. Sindio? I'm at 40 right now, and I'm at my best. That's all I can say. And I'm going to proceed on up to about 72 when the university decides to throw me out, right? But, kind reminder, have time for yourself. I discovered this much later when I finished medical school that actually it was just about medical school. I talk with people, you are just thinking about gastrocnemia, nini, but you need to have a life outside that. That's why I took up photography, that's why I took up cycling, that's why I've taken up motorbikes, that's why I'm a patron of the Amsun art group. These guys called me the other day for a game of bowling. Wakadhani mimi ni mzee. Niliwaosha. Where are you? Felix, I taught them how to play bowling. And I discovered you need to be in touch with that. That aspect is very important so that when you get out as a doctor, you remember there is actually the science and there's also the art of medicine. Those are two different things. Science, you will all know. That one I can guarantee you. But the art, hapo ndio now mnapata kuna shida. When you don't understand the art of medicine, you will have a problem. And the art involves how you are as a social being. Do you have some form of social intelligence? Do you have able to actually talk to people, understand their problems? Okay? And this requires you to be actually out there and be able to interact with many people so that you'll be able to fit in. If you come in as a doctor or as how you are and just pour science on a patient, you are going to be a poor doctor, period. Okay? It's the laboratory. Okay? But if you have the art, which involves getting out there, being a social being, have fun, interact with people who are outside medicine, then you become a complete doctor. Okay? So, all the best. I'll see you guys in probably in an exam in 4th year. I'll see you again in 3rd year, and I'll also see you in 5th year officially in the Department of Pediatrics, where you'll be passing through the newborn unit. For those who don't know what neonatology is all about, it is about dealing with babies who are less than 28 days. The prematures, that's the kind of work I do. I wanted to be a surgeon, nikapatiwa extension internship. I was punished for I don't know what I did. So I quit that. I wanted to be a pediatrician after that. Gastroenterology came in, and I realized I don't want to handle poop for a long time. I put that on the side. And then I found my love, which is dealing with preterms. And 26-weeker, 25-weekers, those are the people I like handling. And I hope I'll inspire you when you come through. Don't take me seriously. Mi wanga ni mtu mpoa sana. I'm here to help you out and make you think through stuff. It may look like I'm putting you in a corner, but it's not so. It's actually to allow you to think. I learned that from my mentor, that is the late Professor Musoke, when she used to ask only what question? What else? Okay? So if I ask you what else, it means there's something more that you need to come and tell us. Okay? Wish you well. Let's meet you up at Amsun Art. These opportunities, there are many, and you're going to make it fun. I think we have some things lined up for you, and hopefully you'll be able to join Amsun Art and be able to have a lot of fun. I need to see all these skills out there. Guys who are singing, guys who are playing pianos, cooking, we need to eat your muffins, all that stuff. Bring, I'll test them. Just bring, I'll take some to my kids. But all the best. Wish you well. Karibuni sana.
Mpigie makofi tena. So by the way, mimi kama ningekuwa na white coat ceremony, I'd have joined Amsun Art. How many can play a musical instrument? Any. Hata kama ni zile za ushago, kinanda. So this guy called Babu here plays lead guitar. Clap for him. He knows how to, you know. Personally, I play drum set. I've been playing drum set since like 2016, but I didn't know there is Amsun art, there is Amsun whatever. So guys, you're privileged. Sindio? So guys who have talents, but talents which talent ya ukweli, you know, those talents which are hizo za kwenyu. So I want us to invite the director of, or someone from the Directorate of Digital Health at the Ministry of Health. Unajua mkisikia tu Ministry of Health mnaanza kelele, oh salaries. So leo kama mnataka wakujibu hizo maswali mumutu wange, he's here. So put your hands together for Dr. Nyotu, representing the Ministry of Health, Directorate of Digital Health. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. I'll just address you as comedian. I didn't hear you introduce yourself. Did you? Anyway, it's a massive pleasure to be here. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. I liked how Dr. Magoha did it. My name is Dr. Ryan Nyotu Getao. By training, I'm a medical physiologist, I'm a medical doctor, and I'm a health innovation specialist specializing in digital health. At this point in my life, I'm serving as a current division head for digital health at the Ministry of Health, which is the first time we've ever had such a division in Kenya, so I'm very excited about that. But in sticking to the theme of today, I'm not here to represent the directorate. I'm not here to represent the ministry. I'm here to be with you as you transition from being students to beginning your journey to transition into becoming healthcare practitioners. So the first thing I want to say to all of you is congratulations. In life, you have to learn to take the wins, especially in medical school. Medical school will slap you, it will hit you, it won't be easy, and we just don't mean class. Even your social life, finances, it's not an easy journey, it's not a short journey. Many of your colleagues, your compatriots will finish 2 years, sometimes even longer before you finish. So it's not an easy journey, so take the time. And this is actually the significance. If you've not been told, this is the significance of a white coat ceremony, to mark the transition from being students to your journey towards becoming a healthcare practitioner. So it seems we've been saying when we came to med school, I remember mine was October 16th, 2007. That was when back in the day we used to have a year between finishing high school and when you come to med school. So in between, I did what all my friends were doing. We were going to do courses at Strathmore University or Strathmore College. And that time I did programming. So those were some of those things you're asked. And people will keep asking you, why are you doing some things when you are doing them? So that was the beginning of the journey. So for me, I have maybe 2 main lessons I want you to remember. The first one is zoea kujituma. Volunteerism, being present. When you see these guys who are standing here, when you see Ruby founding a club, this is kujituma. The spirit of kujituma is so critical because it is one of the first steps to how you will build your networks. It is one of the first steps to how you will get to meet your mentors. And in med school, your mentors make you. You stand on the shoulders on your mentors. If you're someone who has to be forced to do something, chances of you finding a mentor is very, very difficult. So zoea kujituma, that's the first one. The second one is remove the mentality of I will do this when. You will wait to get to 5th year to do something. You will wait to finish 1st year before you start something. The time, a lot of the things that you will do that will carry you in future will start in your 1st year. How you begin your med school life, how you engage will be very, 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 very critical. So for me, my story, I guess, begins in 1st year when we went to do programming, and I'm really, really happy to see the Amsun code community. We'll speak later. I'll kwa mfuko. So we began. I remember we began. That time we used to do, it was the same as you. You'll do medicine, you'll do anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. And I remember I used to see Akina Dr. Obimbo. There's this group of people you'll meet who are called BSc Anatomy. These guys were always seemed like they knew everything. So a few of them took me to an event somewhere. Kujituma again. There was that time it was this period for post-election, or just after post-election violence, because I think we entered school that December. The country went into violence. So when we came back, we were dealing with that chaos of the election violence. So we went for a youth for peace. I remember these things because they're important, because this is how it changes. It was just volunteering. You hear of something, don't wait to be pushed, don't wait to be incentivized, go. So I remember we went, that's why I met these BSCs the first time. I couldn't understand how they know so much. I decided I had to become one. And in my second year, I got the opportunity to do BSc. I was more interested in physiology than I was in medicine. So I got my opportunity to do BSc physiology, which is in low-hanging fruit. BSc is a low-hanging fruit. You can get a degree before you finish med school. You enter the workforce mapema. But so I got a chance to do physiology. Physiology, they taught us research. Immediately taught us research. After you finish, some of these things feel theoretical. So we decided to test this theory. So we got together with a few friends of mine from the health sciences and biological sciences school. Decided, let's see if we can write grants. So that time, genetic engineering was just becoming exciting. And for you guys also, you are living in a time where things are changing so fast. Technology is advancing so fast. Jump on anything. Jump on the first one that comes. Don't wait to become a doctor to start doing things. You've seen, like, I really liked Felix's presentation, where we had students who are actually doing things. Start now. Start as soon as possible. So I remember we wrote a grant. That time we were being very ambitious. We wanted to make a bandage that responds to the conditions of the wound and automatically starts secreting. So this was a long journey. We had to learn genetic engineering techniques. We met lecturers, blah, 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 blah. That's a long story. But this story ends up with us discovering a bacteria that was producing a new antibiotic. And no one had discovered this. So it becomes your patent. And it also had effects in agriculture. So it forms your first company. And this time, I think we are now in third year. Then you come back and you build this company. I think in 2015, we were the only ones in Kenya who were applying for an international patent. And now here you're interacting with lecturers. Again, your network is growing. When you need something, you ask someone for a letter, the VC is quickly writing for you a recommendation letter. These things are important, but they don't come if you don't do things, if you don't send yourself. Then I remember we went, by the time I was finishing med school, I had 2 patents, we had a company, I was running a grant. Unafeel uko poa? Nikatuma ushago. Internship also, after internship, you'll go up country. We try build this company, we focused on the wrong things, we focused on the technical capacity, we didn't focus on the art. The company failed. These are things which always happen. You will do things and then you will fail. And by the time it was failing, I had seen clearly why it was failing. And it was just how the system is organized. How the reason why we don't do some things is because no one has taken the time to do some of those things for other people to come later and build on them. And this is where now we started to pivot. We started to see what could have made this company work. And that's when, again, as a group of people, teams again, we launched the next company, which was now in the digital health space. Then, as we're just playing around, interacting with people, the scholarships come. Because you have to think, like my whole point of this speech is that some of the things that build you later are things you did pretty early on. At this time, msingoje sana kuanza kufanya kitu. So I remember the opportunity I got now to specialize for my specialty in biomedical engineering was because of this early work. This was what put you aside from everyone else. These activities that you are doing here, as 400 plus students, what will set you apart from the other person? This is what we mean. Don't compete with others. Build yourself. Make yourself become the one person who can do that thing. So I remember when we were going, and don't listen to voices. Remember when I was going for this particular course, one of my good friends asked, "Why are you doing this course now? Yet we are not there yet. The country is not digitized. There's nothing that is going to be of benefit for you. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it now?" And I'm sure even you guys in Code Academy, sometimes guys ask you these questions. So I had the opportunity to apply for a scholarship, and the scholarships are many. Let me tell you, medicine is one of the best careers you can pick. And when I say medicine, I mean the whole spectrum, from med lab, pharmacy, dental, nursing, and medicine. It's a good field. You can enter into any field through medicine. And medicine itself is quite big. As Dr. Magoha said, we have enough room for everyone. So fast forward, I was able to get the scholarship, go do this course, then again come back to Kenya, COVID hits. During COVID, data becomes king. Data becomes king. Now here we're designing systems. But to do this requires quite a bit of work. So my journey from first year, and even the work I'm doing now, even in the ministry, as a division head for digital health, I can trace its roots to these particular moments that we're doing here. It's a long journey. Don't be in a rush. Just go slowly. And it's a big bite, and it's a big project you've undertaken. But just look at it as small things. When I tell you congratulations for getting into med school, take that as a win, because tomorrow you'll need the energy from that win to get through the next day. And you guys are in a nicest time. Now I think two of the largest innovations in medicine, or to affect medicine, are already out there. We have CRISPR and we have the AI. These two things will change the practice of medicine. So you are entering the field at a point of transition. The country itself, because I have to plug my government, the country itself, under the Kenya Kwanza government, has decided that digitization is key. We have a country where we've had free primary education for 23 years, and the median age of the Kenyan is 19. This means that a lot of digitization can work. The government has taken its point, at least through us guys in the ministry, to build the center. Start looking at how you can plug in. If data is able to move from one facility in one county to another facility in the other side, and you're able to access and you're able to build systems, the opportunity for how you will make money are totally different from the opportunities we had. We have sat here watching the presentation of Amsun. See, when I was in Amsun, the only club that was there was Journal Club. And Journal Club is difficult for those who have ever tried to go for Journal Club. So we didn't have art, we didn't have running, so you are entering med school at a good time. I want you to, even as you think of joining, think of what in 5 years. I have these things called, okay, no, let me not go there. Even in 5 years, think about in 5 years, what will you be looking back and telling first years that when I was in first year, when I was in second year, I did. Because those are the things that later on will help you and will shape you. So don't belittle this moment now. This moment is a big moment. It is your transition to becoming a healthcare practitioner has begun. Do not wait to finish med school. Do not wait to finish your specialization post-med school to want to begin. Begin today. Congratulations, everyone, for joining the field.
Give him another round of applause. Thank you so much on behalf of the government for sharing what you've shared. And I hope you guys are seeing that we used to be told the sky is there. It is still the limit. Ama ili change. Okay, those things are, but he's just saying that there's more opportunities for you guys than they had, and that is true. So we'll go to our next speaker. She's an adolescent medicine specialist. Adolescent spans from which age to which age? To 15 to 30. Higher. So, but imagine that's the same way you'll be keeping quiet all your life. Imagine utakuwa unauliza tu swali kwanza pale Odron. Let me not remember when I was a student. But there is a doctor who will come to speak to us. She's Dr. Njeri. She's an adolescent medicine specialist. I've actually never interacted with one. So put your hands together and let's hear what she does. And yes.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hey, we apologize in advance. As doctors, we really like to talk and give as much knowledge as we can. And please bear with us. So like you've heard, my name is Dr. Jerry Kariajahe. I'm a consultant pediatrician, and I'm an adolescent medicine specialist. So an adolescent medicine specialist is a pediatrician who has gone into training to learn how to take care of people from the age of 10 till the age of 24 years. So that's what I do. I am the first in East and Central Africa, and that's why you've not met people yet. But can I just say, I am hoping in a few years that will change, and that we'll have more people who are specializing in the care of young people, because like you heard, the median age is 19 years in this country. So we need more people who take care of not just the very small babies like Dr. Maugo, but then the ones who are in transition from childhood to adulthood. So that's my shameless adolescent medicine plug, and I'm hoping, even if it's just one person, that I can be able to mentor in terms of adolescent medicine. So the other thing that I do is I am the creator and the host of a podcast called the Fellowship Safaris podcast. And I have taken time to be able to listen to the stories and record the experiences of different medics going through their medical education journeys and what it has taken to get to where they are in terms of their subspecialty training. So a lot of people usually ask me, who's going to listen to that? Actually, you guys. So, and I say you guys because I know you are here, your parents are here. I know for sure, like, when I was going into medical school, my mom had no context of how to take care of a daughter going into medical school and the kind of stresses that I was going through. So getting onto the podcast and listening on www.fellowshipsafaris.org, please take a listen, because I'm hoping, because in case we're not able to mentor each and every person, that you're able to hear these experiences. There's contact information for the people that I interview that you can be able to reach out to on a one-to-one basis and ask questions. So I know everybody has been telling you guys about what medicine was like. Me, medicine started when I was assigned H31/7350/02. Yeah. That's how long ago I was in first year. So that was my registration number for the duration of time I was in med school. And everybody who has come here so far has explained what Malcolm Gladwell in his book, David and Goliath, beautifully put in terms of the big fish, little pond theory. All of you here were big fish where you came from, whether the big fish was primary, big fish was secondary, and then all these big fish have come to not a small pond, but an entire huge pond in some sense. And for others, it's a huge ocean. And so long, you're no longer the big fish. And so a lot of people struggle because you've had that big fish mentality your entire life up until this point. Sawa, you're still the big fish, and you will continue to learn how to be able to work with even bigger fish as you go along. So when I started in first year, within the first few months, when I was in a biochemistry class, I had decided I'm going to quit because I sat in one of the classes and understood nothing. Zero. When I tell you, tururu, that was me. And so I was like, how is it? I'm brilliant. I know I'm smart. How is it I've understood nothing in this class? So I went to my residence, packed my bag, and I had decided I'm going to go home. What had happened that previous week is that I'd had 3 to 4 hour nights because I was really trying to study and keep up with the content. Everyone here has been talking about the information, the amount of information that you're expected to learn about. So I wasn't sleeping very well, and I think I had been living on Indomie. So it was Indomie and 3-4 hours of sleep all day, every day. So by the end of that week, I was finished, completely depleted. I get home, I tell my mom, you guy, I tried. I'm done. So she was like, you know what? No stress. Have your dinner, go to bed. I was like, okay, fine. And for the first time since I started medical school, I did not read that night. I just went to bed. Suffice to say, the next morning I woke up, I was rested, I'd eaten my mother's food, I was now feeling fresh and I could think clearly, and I was able to then get back on track in terms of my academics. It wasn't the easiest journey, and fast forward to third year, you've heard people talking about supplementaries happen to people. I was that people. People is me. I encountered pharmacology. Yeah, the guys in this front rows here. Pharmacology is intense, and you have to just memorize some of the things that you're going to be taught. But then some of those things are the things that help us in terms of how we are able to write prescriptions. It's really key for us because not everything is amoxil, right? Si kila kitu, amoxil si baba na mama. But then I failed my exam and I had to do a supplementary. I was the only person in my friend circle who had a supplementary. Thank God for my friends, because guys actually took turns studying with me as I prepared for my supplementary, which was so cool. So social capital is key. There are people who you may have come here with, you started out, you're not too sure who this person sitting next to you is, but these may be some of the key people who help you cross the finish line. Suffice to say, I passed my pharmacology exam, horrified, but I passed my pharmacology exam and went on to the next clinical years, which was so exciting for me because medicine came to life. Suddenly, my lecturer was no longer standing in front of me giving me a lecture. It was that patient in the bed. And I had the opportunity to learn everything that I could from the patient, from their parent. And it was exciting stuff. And of course, as life would have it, see, we've been talking about life balance. 1 month before 5th year exams, me and my boyfriend break up. It was sucky. I know, I should be giving you deep inspirational stuff. And I can see some parents panicking. I'm not endorsing relationships. I am endorsing a balance. No, I didn't fail because of a boy, let me just say, okay? But I really had to dig down and just focus in terms of my academics. Again, my friends, my mentors helped me in terms of finishing that exam and crossing the finish line. Up until that point, I was super stressed because people, like the Michaels out there, Prof. Magoha, Dr. Magoha, had already figured out what they want to do. I had no clue. So, thankfully, during internship, I got to meet this amazing pediatrician who changed the lives of people at Karatina District Hospital just by being able to be meticulous, attention to detail, and she was actually changing the rate at which children were dying in Karatina simply by practicing and also teaching us the right thing to do. So it was a no-brainer. I wanted to do pediatrics. I wanted to save the world. And for those guys who like DC Comics, in my mind, Yanni was standing there, cape and everything, and I was like, I really want to do peds. Fast forward, I was posted from Karatina to Nyeri, and in Nyeri, I was sent to obstetrics and gynecology, opposite of what I wanted to do. After 1.5 years of work in gynecology and obstetrics and delivering very, very many babies, I actually asked, please transfer me to peds. Medical superintendent said, we just simply don't need you there at this time. So I quit my Gava job, scarily so, and came back to Nairobi and looked for a job at Gertrude's Children's Hospital because I wanted to work with kids. And so I started my journey in pediatrics there. And within about 1.5 years after that, I read for my exams and I got into my peds program. During peds, it was amazing learning. I learned skills second to none. And I did not realize that until a few more years down the line. So finished pediatrics, 5 years in, I'm talking to everybody about teenagers. Aki, adolescents. Did you know, okay, adolescents is 10 to 19 years of age based on the WHO definition, okay? And when we say young people, we're talking about 10 to 24-year-olds. So a lot of you are within the category of young people. So please bear with me. Aki, my story has a point. Um, so 5 years down the line, I'm talking to everybody about teenagers and the care of teenagers, because in a lot of public hospitals, up until the age of 12, you're taken care of by pediatricians, and then you're bumped to the adult wards. So you'd have a 13-year-old who's being taken care of next to a 75-year-old. And that is commonplace in a lot of public hospitals. And we want to be able to change that. I remember during my PEDS training being sneaked into the adult wards to help in the management of a 13-year-old with a cardiac condition, because the adult physician could not figure out what was going wrong with this particular 13-year-old. They were treating them like an adult. Adolescents are not adults, right? But there was no training in Kenya, there was no training in South Africa. So what was my next option? I couldn't go to the US because US MLEs are quite expensive, and I was out of budget. And so I applied to the University of Toronto, the Hospital for Sick Children. And at that time, honestly, I did know that it was one of the top 5 hospitals in the world for children. I didn't know, by the way. So when I got in, that imposter syndrome that was mentioned, pop, immediately, without fail. However, I remembered I was here to be able to learn adolescent medicine and change my world in my side of the world. In addition to that, I had to do PEDS on a full-time basis in order to support myself and my family. And so what ended up happening is that I was working 2 jobs. Full-time PEDS, full-time adolescent medicine. Initially, I was stressed and continuously anxious. I kept wondering, hey, when does the break come? When am I able to just be able to enjoy this thing called medicine? You heard from Dr. Maugo, we're in it for the long game. One of the things that I realized at a top hospital is that the training we got at the University of Nairobi and the clinical skills that I learned at Kenyatta National Hospital helped me stand out as one of the best in my area of training. So, I know someone asked, are we world class? We are world class. Right now, it may not seem like it because you're getting your training here. Some people from this room one day will be able to fly out and go into other countries and continents and get other training. But let me just tell you right now, having experienced it, having tasted and seen it, and tolerated minus 10-degree weather, that this is a world-class education that you're going to be receiving. So, fast forward again into my training, I discovered something called narrative medicine. And narrative medicine is the area and specialty of medicine where you use the stories, medical stories, clinical stories, to have a better understanding of your patients, a better understanding of yourself, and help you metabolize some of the emotions and thoughts that go into the clinical space. You will see a lot of suffering. You will see a lot of strain. You will see people going into debt because of health. And you need to figure out ways to be able to metabolize that. As I've sat here today, I'm like, what? Us guys didn't have a white coat ceremony. We had no idea. Amsun, we had no idea that there was ever these elements within Amsun. We didn't have art. We didn't have running club. We just have survive. That's what we had. We just had just survive. Just get that 50% and survive. And so out of that narrative medicine, my way of doing that was to be able to do the podcast. And I have run through what my fellowship safari was, and I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to interview people from this class as they share their experiences, their stories of consistency, their stories of strain and struggle as they manage to finish their programs. By the way, the thing that I forgot to mention about my parents is that what they hadn't mentioned to me until almost my graduation is that we almost lost our home because they stopped paying for mortgage so that they can pay for me to be in med school. And so that time when I was souping, quitting, wanting to quit, at the back of my parents' minds were, Yani, we've put all our bets on you. And so I'm glad they didn't tell me that, because that pressure would have been way too much. But then the reality is, The different parents who are sitting here have made different kinds of sacrifices. Make the sacrifice worth it. Be consistent. We're not even asking you guys to do 100% every day. Even if you do 20% every day consistently, it counts for something. There are days you'll be able to do 100, and you'll be batting 100%, and that's excellent. But there'll be days you'll be batting 10%, and that's also okay. Allow yourself to experience that season and figure out ways to be able to get up. Like I said before, I'm really hoping you guys will get to listen to the podcast, www.fellowshipsafaris.org. Thank you all.
Mpigie makofi tena. It's a good, she's the first in Eastern. So that's a good, those are good things. But of note is that she remembers one very important event, and we hope she heals as a function of time. Yani ulikuwa fourth year almost, and you still remember. These things are serious. So as you start medicine, ensure that as academics take you up, life does not pin you down. So you will learn a lot of things, but it's not bad to be in a relationship, isn't it? Isn't it, Prof? Yeah, we encourage relationships, and especially in this time when people are, there's all kinds of things. If God akikufungua your eyes, just use them to see. So thank you so much. And for those who've heard the word biochemistry more than anatomy, you will understand why. There was a topic called orbitals. To this day, I think there was P and Q, na hata hiyo Q mnajua tu juu P kwa after Q. But yeah, biochemistry is one of those units my dad told me when I came to first year. If you fail biochemistry, just come home. You are still our child. Just to wonder, why not anatomy? Until I met the great Professor Ngu. And he will just rotate and say things, and as she said, you will live with nothing but hope. So we thank you for that story. And so next on stage, we shall have a very great doctor who is a Sloan Fellow at Stanford Business School. He's called Dr. Mibei. So mpigia makofi as he comes to share his story, and karibu sana.
Wow, you all look amazing today. I'm a bit old school. I'll use my pen and paper. Yeah. All protocols observed. It's nice to be in front of amazing colleagues and parents of colleagues. I am Walter Mibei. I sat where you are 18 years ago, 24th October 2005. And the interesting thing is we never had a white coat ceremony. In fact, 1 year later, in October 2006, I was one of the people selling lab coats to the incoming first year classes with my good friend Kimani. So to Amsun, to the university leadership, thank you for organizing this, and especially to KMA Circle. Thank you for ensuring our first years, we welcome them into the profession really well, and we give them lab coats as they set off on this amazing journey. So Ntusi reached out a month ago and asked me to share some words of wisdom based on my life and what I've been able to do the last, 13 years since I finished med school. I was part of the class of 2010, and I organized my thoughts into 3 topics, which I'm happy to share with. So the first one is first principles thinking, second is curiosity, and third is faith. Looking at first principles thinking, it is essentially how one approaches often difficult concepts from a very foundational and fundamental level. It is essentially the building blocks of what you're learning. Medicine, as you'll come to learn, is an apprenticeship. And it being an apprenticeship, you have to first of all have learned the basics and the basic sciences. And in the next 1 or 2 years, you'll be doing a lot of anatomy by Prof. Obimbo. You'll be learning a lot of biochemistry and physiology. That is what sets the baseline of what comes later on, some of the more, I'd say, complex topics. It's not really hard. You'll be able to take all of it. The only thing I encourage you, as other speakers have said, is to be consistent. Is to be consistent in your learning, is to be consistent in your discussion groups. I'll give you an example. In first year, I met 4 other good friends, and we had a discussion group for the whole 5 years we were in medical school. Every Saturday, we used to be outside the green benches of physiology laboratory. I'm sure the green bench is still there, consistently, the whole year. If things were tough, we'd try and meet on a Sunday. So I encourage you to come together, be consistent as you build the foundational knowledge that will later on help you scale up your knowledge in medicine and healthcare. On curiosity, I look at curiosity as the fuel that funds sort of your hunger for knowledge, your willingness and ability to consume information around the world that you live in and the people around you. And curiosity has really been integral in my life since I was in med school, even before, I guess. I'd say, looking at first year, when I joined, I grew up in Nairobi, and just to share, I was actually in Kapsabet Boys, and at that time, we were only 3 people from Kapsabet. I'm sure now there are many, just to plug my high school. The thing is, it is curiosity that led me to want to interact with my classmates beyond what we were doing in class. So I'd spend Friday evening and Saturday evenings in the halls of residences, Hall 2, Hall 10, Hall 3, Hall 4. We used to go downtown to watch football together, walk back up chanting late at night. It is that curiosity that enabled me to form these really strong bonds and linkages beyond class, beyond discussion group, beyond medicine. It is curiosity that enabled me to go to Kapkatet for my internship as the only student from University of Nairobi that year to go there. And I ended up meeting many other students from Moi University and other international students. And I went there believing in Chagua Jembe si Mkulima. You just have to go where you go, and you'll make the most of it. And that opened a whole new world of many other people from Moi University who are amazing doctors doing amazing things, and we became very good friends until today. Something you'll continuously hear as I build up the story is social capital. It's been mentioned. You have to start building your social capital right from med school. It's you people who are one day changing the world. So start talking. It is curiosity, lastly, that led me to Isiolo as a medical officer, and that's a very funny story. I somehow found my way to Isiolo, and my med sup then was Dr. Simon Kigondu. He was an OBGYN. He ended up being my boss and my mentor, and he played a big role in me going for my public health training. But even more important, you can see this is a decade ago. He's now the president of KMA, doing a lot of things at a national level. But Dr. Kigondu has been able to be there for me in times of need. When I need references, anything I need, he was always there for me. He still is there for me, and he's a good friend. And all this came because I was curious enough to go out there, to go to Isiolo, to learn about Isiolo, to spend time there, offering care to Kenyans. Literally at what we used to call the beginning of the northern frontier of Kenya back then. But now it's changed. Please visit Isiolo. It's a beautiful place. And then last, I'll talk about faith. I see faith as believing that the future can, will, and should be better than it is at present, in whatever we are doing. It is that dark tunnel, it's that light at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, which you might not be able to see. It is faith that led me to pursue a degree in public health, and I decided I'm going to what I thought was the best school in the world at that point. Not because there's nothing else in Kenya, but because I said, if we come from a world-class institution like the University of Nairobi, then we should thrive and do well in any other world-class institution. So I went to the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine a decade ago. Dr. Kigondu played a pivotal role being one of my referees. I did a degree of public health. And it is through that it opened up my world to this other whole world of doctors who are actually in non-clinical practice. And we also call ourselves the amorphous doctors, so to say. And they're all doing amazing work in various industries, in various fields, not only in Kenya, not only in Africa, but globally. So just to let you know, there's a whole other world that opens up to you, but it all starts with you building your foundational knowledge. And lastly, on faith, it is faith that led me to quit my job last year at Johnson & Johnson, where I was doing work on the COVID-19 vaccine, to go back to school, to pursue a mid-career degree in business, because I was always curious to learn more about the intersection of business, leadership, and healthcare. And I was driven by my thirst to satisfy sort of knowledge acquisition on finance, building on my first principles knowledge on finance. So I went to Stanford, and I spent a year there, and I just graduated recently, and right now I'm figuring out life. So I'm not yet there. And the beauty of going there against all odds, which was an insane ride, is now you actually get to see that the world is much bigger than what you imagine. Maybe in Nairobi, maybe in Kenya, in Africa, or even in Europe. It's huge. And there are people who are doing the same things you're dreaming of. I met people who are doing exactly what I used to dream of. They've done it. And they're asking themselves, what else? As Professor Musoke would ask us. So what else? So I leave you with the 3 words of first principles thinking. May it guide you as you build the basic, foundational, fundamental level of your understanding of medicine. Because once you build that, everything else is so simple. Trust me. First year is the only year I read hard. After that, everything was just like, it was a breeze. The second thing is curiosity. I encourage you to be curious, to let curiosity drive you exploring other fields other than medicine. Now Amsun has amazing things like Amsun Art, the running club. Please try that. And last, faith. May faith hopefully guide you as you think into the future. And to wrap it up, I leave you with the words of my favorite poet. She passed away a few years ago, Mary Oliver. She has a beautiful poem called The Summer Day. And the summer day starts in a very beautiful way. Who made the world? Talks about the bear and the grasshopper and the swan. But it's the last 2 lines of this poem. And she ends it like this. So tell me, what is it that you want to do with your one wild and precious life? Class of 2030, welcome to the profession.
Give him another round of applause. Mko hapa mnapewa ma content. This is good stuff. And thank you so much. And now you've heard there's another aspect of public health. You've heard. So there's people who will do clinical practice. Some will do research, as the next speaker will come to talk about. Some of you will do public health. So you can keep your ambitions alive. Now I know most of you want to be surgeons. You know, surgeons are the people we hear about a lot in high schools. Indio? Anga Ben Carson, Anga who. How many know somebody called a physician? You've ever heard of somebody called a physician? How many have heard of surgeon? How many have heard of the word surgeon? How many want to be surgeons? Just, it's okay, you can want to be a surgeon in first year. So, like it's actually a good thing that he's put it. You can start from first year and you can follow your passion, isn't it? So the next speaker is one of the heads of departments in the units you'll begin with in your first year. How many have heard of human anatomy? You've started anatomy? You've started? How many know where the dissection lab is? You guys are smart. You guys are destined for greatness. So I met him in first year and he was our mentor. So when I met him in our first, it was called, this one which used to go in and you find the food space. It was orals, I think it was orals, isn't it? So he asked me, which slide is this? He gave me a slide. And I looked at it, and as I was thinking, he was telling me things like, you're smart, you're brilliant, this one is something, And I just knew he was making fun because he knew I was just blank. But anyway, he's one of the people who inspires a lot of us, both in the medical field in Kenya and beyond. He's done a lot of good work. So just put your hands together and welcome Professor Moses Obimbo to come and address us. Karibu sana, Professor.
Right. Good evening, everyone. I think there have been very brilliant speakers before me, so I really don't know what to say, and I'm very blessed this afternoon to be amongst very outstanding young colleagues and my senior colleagues, who I think are expected to be here as well, my teachers and so forth. Yeah, so for those who are younger than me, I started teaching in 2002 in the Department of Human Anatomy. And since then, I've never left the department. And of course, my story begins sometimes in the 90s when I took a bus from my village to Nairobi to come and just understand what goes on at the university and what goes on at the medical school. So I was dropped here in Kangemi, then took a bus to Chiromo, walked across the bridge on Riverside Drive, got to Chiromo, then asked, where is this Department of Human Anatomy? So while outside, I met some of my colleagues who were ahead of me, and they were in white coats, and they looked elegant. I was very impressed. I said, wow, this is exactly what I want to become. And I told myself, I think I want to become an anatomist. And I want to become a lecturer in the University of Nairobi. That was in late 90s. And of course, I just completed my high school at Kabarak. I was at Kabarak many years ago. And yeah, so I stayed on and believed that I want to be a lecturer in the Department of Human Anatomy, and I also want to be, of course, a good doctor, which ended up to become true. So I want to start by trying to contextualize some of the issues that I think we need to be aware of, and my colleagues have mentioned this here before, that in 2050, we expect the population of Africa to be about 2.6 to 2.8 billion people. What's the current population of Africa? Do you know? The entire Africa is about 1.4 billion right now, okay? So in 2050, we'll have almost double the population, 2.8 billion. Majority of these people would be below the age of 19. I think 19 is a magical age, okay? And my colleagues have expounded on why this age group is very important. It means, therefore, that about 1.4 to 1.5 billion will be youth, and youth in search of employment. Most of them will be occupying large cities in Africa, and some of you already know some of the cities and the projection of this population in the cities. And some of these cities include Kinshasa, where we expect to have very many people, over 10 million in a small place. Another one is Dar es Salaam, Luanda, and of course in Nairobi. So what does this mean for you? In 2050, most of you will be about 50 years old, I suppose. 50, 40, late 40s, early 50s. So you'll be the employment creators. And therefore, what it means for us, we have to think of opportunities beyond ourselves, not just becoming medical doctors and practicing medicine as been done in the past. So whatever has been said here before by my younger colleagues, you know, the Amsun Art Club, the coding club, the running club, and so forth, will be integrated in medicine. So what we're going to do and see in Future of Medicine is an integrated approach to care, while at it, we should be able to create opportunities for the younger people who potentially will not have employment. So you'll have a task and responsibility of creating employment for the younger colleagues in medicine. So what are some of the areas that you'll be looking at? Of course, art. I think Felix has talked about it very ably. You'll be talking about big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, which of course my friend Wechuli here has been talking about and you know, expounding. And so while in medical school, you need to start getting yourself, you know, acquainted with this kind of information. There's a lot of information and integrated approach. What my colleague Mibe has been studying on financials and healthcare leadership is very important, because we are not practicing good medicine in this part of the world just because sometimes we do not have very good leadership in healthcare practice. So some of you will have to start thinking about, as you learn about pharmacology, human anatomy, and so forth, how can you impact the world in terms of financial and healthcare leadership? New technologies that we'll be teaching in first year, genomics, transcriptomics. I'm sure in Form 4, one of the last topics you looked at in Form 4 must have been genetics and genes, okay? Of course, coming close to what you did in first year, and cell biology, which we'll also be teaching you this year. So you'll be looking at the transcriptomics, genomics. Now the genes have proteins have, you know, metabolomes. They secrete some products that then create cellular changes. Then you generate big data to get people treated in a specific and in a precise manner, what my colleague Dr. Nyoto was talking about, precision medicine. So as you're learning, as you come into medical school, I want you to be inspired that there are many avenues, many areas that you'll be having to look at beyond the practice of medicine. So at a personal level, I'm a human anatomist. Of course, I got interested in human anatomy before I joined medical school, and after my medical school, I entered the Department of Human Anatomy. I never left the department. Of course, with my mentors, like Professor Ogengo, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor here, who is also anatomist par excellence and our teacher. And of course, I also trained in the Department of Obstetric Gynecology. So I'm a gynecologist, obstetrician and gynecologist with interest in fertility medicine. So I treat mostly patients with infertility issues. My research interests, which I've really pursued over the last few years, have been to study the placenta and how the placenta affects human pregnancy and the life of these babies born of placenta in various states, and currently doing quite a lot of work on vaginal microbiome, the vagina, the bacteria that live within the vagina, and how these bacteria secrete different products to affect pregnancy and the pregnancy outcomes. And we're trying to model and create new tools using artificial intelligence to be able to make early predictive diagnosis of women at risk so that we can intervene for better babies for Dr. Njeri and Dr. Maugo to handle in future, okay? So some of the few things that you need to learn is consistency and commitment when you're in first year. Make sure that you are very consistent. Of course, consistency means that when you're supposed to be in class, be in class. And we insist, I'm sure you've heard from your foregoing colleagues, that if you miss coming to class in the Department of Human Anatomy, and now we integrated, so I had both the Department of Human Anatomy and Medical Physiology, you will not sit for your exam. You know that, right? So if you do not meet 70% of class attendance, and I expect all of you to attend 100% if possible. And you'll ask ourselves, how do we confirm that you have not attended 70% or 80%? We've integrated IT technology. So each one of you, I'm sure when you are reporting, you had a QR code assigned to you. And this QR code will be assigned to you, of course, a very specific, and you'll be expected every time you come for laboratories, you're expected to sign in. We sign in during the sessions, we check that you are there, we expect you to be there. After the session, we sign you out. And automatically this information is uploaded on Excel sheets, and we generate Excel sheet of attendance every day. At the end of every week, we'll be telling you how your attendance is and how it's affecting your performance. So this, you're expected not to miss your classes at all while in first year. We, of course, expect you, if you have any reasons that would not make you come to classes, explain these reasons early enough, both, of course, to my office and to the Associate Dean's office, where most of the time I also help in the office. So you need to explain this in advance so that you do not have any issues. So be very consistent and committed to learning. We expect you to have and create discussion groups. They're very good because within those discussion groups, you'll be able to share information and test how your understanding is. Sometimes you go to the discussion groups and you find you're the only one who does not know a particular concept. Okay, it happens. I'm sure it has happened to my colleagues here. Do not be discouraged. Just take that as a challenge to be able to become a better person and go read about that concept. We expect you to, of course, be very disciplined. And discipline is what basically gives you the basis of your success. And we'll be there to ensure that you stay disciplined and focused throughout the year. And then, of course, we expect that if you have any issues, we'll be assigning you mentors. And as my colleagues have also mentioned here, we have quite a number of lecturers in the first year Department of Human Anatomy, Medical Physiology, trained in different areas. You'll be assigned mentors, and these mentors are expected to help you. But what you should know is that mentorship is a mentee-driven process. So you expected to drive that mentorship agenda. So if you have an issue, please reach out quickly, reach out to your lecturers, and they should be able to help you in very good time. Of course, we want to wish you very well as you begin your first year. 6 years is a very short time. Very soon, you'll be Dr. X. Very soon, when you go back to your village, like when I used to go back to my village when school took breaks, many people used to come to my home village and ask for a prescription. Of course, do not do any prescription if you're not qualified yet, but you can give them an idea or explain the pathophysiology or the basis of the disease, okay? And make sure that you also take pride in putting on your lab coat and explaining to these people, and you inspire other young people from your village, if you come from the village or from your city or from your town, to come and join this medical school. So with that, I know we'll be dealing with you quite a lot. I'll be your father in our first year. So do not run away from me when you see me on the corridors. So reach out. We'll be able to help you and support you and make sure that you meet your goal of becoming an excellent doctor. And as we carry out this function of white coat ceremony, which started a bit later, and very good initiative by our colleagues here. I'm very proud of you and we want to wish you very well. Thank you very much.
Give him another round of applause. So hopefully, guys, when Vision 2030 is getting here, you will be there. Like, you'll be the first doctors under Vision 2030. Clap for yourself. Like that, you're part of the SDGs. SDGs ilikuwa ziachiwe by 2030. How many people know SDGs? You guys should be curious. Clap for that guy. For raising his hand. Clap for him. That guy knows SDGs at first year. So, yeah. Kuna wengine hata tumemaliza, but hey, you just know one. So, thank you so much. To this point, you have been patient. We are almost coming to the end. So, we'd want the sponsors of your beautiful lab coats to have a representative speak, and they are called the Kenya Medical Association, but this is now the SACCO, which I think is independent of KMA. And so, put your hands together as we welcome Dr. Brenda. It's you. I think I've seen her before. Welcome Dr. Brenda from KMA. She'll come and tell you something about the SACCO. You can even join the SACCO at first year. You can join it in first year, isn't it? Yes, unaweza anza kusave instead of wasting your money on.
I support. Good evening, everyone. I saw some people dozing. Please wake up. This is the disadvantage of being the last person to speak. I see so much hope when I look at you guys. I see the future of healthcare. And I'd really like to appreciate Amsun, because as you've heard those who've spoken before me say, we never had this. We never had this X years ago. I'm not going to let you calculate my age. But you've been really intentional in unboxing healthcare. There's so much you can do. There's so much opportunity out there for you. Start thinking now. Start interacting with all these possibilities starting today. And it's a challenge I'm throwing at you. I forgot to say all protocols observed. My teacher, Prof. Obimbo, my colleagues, and my future colleagues, parents, we honor you. Thank you for being here. Today I'm here representing the Kenya Medical Association SACCO. I am Dr. Brenda Obondo, and during the day, I serve as the Kenya Medical Association Chief Executive Officer. And just to serve as an example of what Dr. Mibe and Dr. Obimbo were saying, there's space in leadership and healthcare management. Is a lot you can do in policy for those who are interested. So start to open your mind, start to think about all the possibilities. We need you everywhere in healthcare. So I'm here today on behalf of our SACCO to let you know that we are here to walk this financial journey with you. There's a bit of a presentation. I don't know if this will be your first lecture. I don't want to bore you, but I have a PowerPoint. And I'd just like to really introduce to you, because if this was done for me when I was in first year, I feel like I'd be somewhere else in my wealth creation journey. I'd be steps ahead in my wealth creation journey. So it's really a privilege for us to be here. Makofi kwa sponsor. I hope you love the lab coats. Yeah, so is anyone helping me set this up? Thank you. I don't think we've had a parent speak. It would just be good to hear as we set up how you feel today. You're letting go of your baby. Your baby is now an adult. It's going to be a doctor. Do you have anxieties? What are your worries? Just one parent to just say something, 2 minutes or a minute. A parent who's willing to say something. Are they holding you down on your chair so that you don't embarrass them? Yeah, I see a parent here.
Thank you, thank you. I'm actually extremely emotional today. My daughter Queen here, we've had, like most of the parents here, not such a smooth journey with her education, with all the difficulties of fees, moving around in the world. She started her studies in South Africa. We moved to Nigeria. Then we had to come back to Kenya. And then, of course, somehow the schools here rejected her. So we had to find one of those elitist schools. And I think 5 years later, she's here. And I'm really, really emotional about it as a parent. Next to her is the brother as well, who's gone through the same thing. But him, maybe another 2 years, he'll also try and join it here. Thank you very much for hosting us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So as Dr. Jerry had said earlier, our parents are sacrificing a lot, our guardians, for us to be here. And let's make it count. So the Kenya Medical Association, SACCO, there's a very long name there. You can see RNWDT. So we changed name after we began being regulated. So currently SACCOs are regulated, and that ensures our money as Kenyans are safe. So now we are the KMA non-withdrawable deposit-taking SACCO. And we are celebrating 25 years of existence this year. I'm privileged to serve in the board of the SACCO. The membership was confident that I would, and I thank them. And now we're doing 5 years, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. So the KMA SACCO, we'd like to say we are the one-stop financial partner for doctors, their spouses, their employees. So our membership includes all those. And we've had an interesting journey over the years. So we were first registered as a cooperative, a SACCO, in 1998. And then in 2001, we published our first financial audited accounts. And that's really important for a financial institution. It's a big deal. You may not understand what it means now, but that was part of one of our great milestones. Then 10 years later, we're able to purchase our office. We currently sit at the Kenya Medical Association Center. That's the KMA Center in Upper Hill along Mara Road on 4th floor. And in 2012, we amended our bylaws to be able to include pharmacists and dentists and medical students, so not just medical doctors. So this is open to all of us here in the room, maybe except our parents. In 2021, we began being regulated. And that's big because we're one of the first non-withdrawable deposit-taking SACCOs that got regulated in the country. So as I've said, our membership includes all those, the medical profession, that's the doctors, the pharmacists, the dentists. We also have our spouses. You'll have to show proof if you have a marriage certificate. we have medical students, and then we have employees. If you open your practice, you can enroll your employees, and corporate membership, that is hospitals or institutions that are affiliated with healthcare. So this is something that's really huge and we like to celebrate. You can see us there, number 3, in the last performance report that was shared by SASRA in 2022. The previous one of 2021 were number 3, so we've maintained our position with an asset base of currently 6 billion. Thank you. So over the years, we've really grown. And you can see from 2018, from 3.3 billion asset base to now we boast of an asset base of about 6 billion. You can see 2022, at the end of the year, it was 5.8. Our loan book has been growing as such. And really, if you understand the model of a savings and cooperative, then you understand that loans are what drive the growth of the institution. Our returns to members are also very good as compared to the market. And the market here, we're talking about the financial market and not just focusing on the SACCOs. Very competitive, and you can see our dividends have been amazing. We give 20% return on your share capital, which is how much you own of the SACCO. As a member, you'll own a piece of that SACCO, and you get returns from that ownership, and that is what we call dividends. Then there's your savings, and that's the reason we are here with you today, to encourage you to save as much as you can. I wish I was taught how to be financially prudent from the get-go and put aside something, because when I think back and see how much money I had in school and now, you'd be able to save a lot. So what we give on your savings is interest on deposit, and we've also been giving very competitive rates. Most recently, we're giving 8%, so you get 8% of the amount you've saved every year. We have diversified loan products, and something that's important to note, because the SACCO is a SACCO for doctors, by doctors, then we have products that are tailor-made to fit us, specifically for what we go through as a profession. We have several loan products, including an intern loan, and I think this is the reason I joined the SACCO when I was an intern. They were giving 50,000 bob, and I remember one of my fellow interns was like, there's somewhere they're giving people money. You know, KMA Center Pale, Upper Hill. I did my internship in Defense Forces Memorial across the road. Like, yeah. So you've gotten to a point where you finish school, and now your guardians and your family, everyone expects you to wear the fruits of this labor. And it puts you in a very difficult situation because you don't get your pay for some time during internship, a few months, and you finally get your boom. So KMA SACCO was there to hold our hands and give us that boost. You know, at least you had your fare covered. For those who needed to get somewhere to stay, you're able to get accommodation if you're going outside of where your residence is. And it was a big support. So currently we've upgraded our intern loan, and now we are offering up to 100,000. So we welcome you to continue saving consistently, be a member from today, and once that moment comes, KMA SACCO is there to stand with you. We have several investment opportunities. And when you begin investing before you have so many obligations, then you stand at an advantage. We've had various projects that we've run successfully as a SACCO. You can see there we had Ngong, phase 1 and 2, as well as Kitengela, in Moore Hills, which is absolutely beautiful, and Kangundo Road, which is the last project we did. Those are all fully sold out with ready titles. So let's start thinking investment even as we save and inculcate that culture of saving. We also have other options like fixed deposit, and just so that you're able to get details and learn more about these products, you can interact with our team from the office. Consolata is there, and they are outside at the entrance, the same team that was sharing the lab coats. If you'd like to learn more or just sign up, I'd advise you sign up today. Parents, if you have a little something for them to sign up, please push them to. I'm sure you appreciate the value of this institution. Then the SACCO has TIBA Insurance Agencies, which is a subsidiary, and we stand as agents. We provide various insurance products negotiated with the underwriters so that we are able to offer our membership all they need as far as insurance is concerned. One that is key for us to take note and remember is that one day, not very far from here in 2030, we'll be needing a professional indemnity cover. This is required of us by law. And at TIBA Insurance, we are able to offer you this at negotiated rates, very affordable. So when you're a member of the SACCO and you patronize TIBA, guess what? When TIBA is profitable, it comes back to you in returns. So why would you get your insurance from any other place? We have several benefits, and we welcome you. We'll be able to even offer financial advice. We have very many experts in the field who form part of our staff at the SACCO, ready to offer you all the financial advice you need so that you're able to grow your wealth. How do we join? Today we are here physically, so please take advantage of that opportunity. You can also log on to www.kmasacco.com, and you'll require those documents to submit. But please join the SACCO. I'm sure all the doctors who are seated here will tell you it's really a great step in the right direction. Some of us feel we needed to save earlier. If I had the opportunity to learn how to save earlier in my life or in my career, then I guess we'd be farther now. So we thank you as KMA SACCO. We thank you for this opportunity. Amsun will continue to partner with you. We'll continue to be here for the white coats. We are there for the finalist dinner. So truly we stand by our slogan, and we are here to walk this financial journey with you. Karibuni sana.
I give her another round of applause. So we are now on to the last. You know the way pastors say, nikimalizia, like now this is the last one, the truthful one. So for the doctors who are here, tafadhali, you've been requested to stay. Mtasaidia kwa cloaking, unaona vile mtavaizo vitu mkae smart. But you guys look smart in white coats, sindio? Yeah, you guys look smart, smarter than some of us, and you're just almost doing that thing. So next on stage we'll have one of the most important people you'll interact with as a faculty, and he's our dean. He's a professor in uko kwa pharmacy uko. You know, pharmacists are those guys have threatened us. Our existence in med school was threatened by pharmacology, but we are here. So put your hands together for Professor Jojo Sanjo, who is the dean. Karibu sana, bro.
Pharmacology is good. Thank you very much. Let me recognize the chair who I see here, Professor Moses Obimbo, members of faculty, guests who are here, I'm told we may even have 1 or 2 parents, students, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Let me recognize also, before I forget, Amsun, the Association of Medical Students of the University of Nairobi, and the team under the leadership of Nthusi Muinde, G2 here, the Secretary General, Babu Owen, Treasurer. I know there's also Mercy Ujunju somewhere, and the whole team. They have been doing a tremendous job putting this together, and this is the second time this is being done. Let's appreciate them. To our first years, we are proud of you. We celebrate you. We welcome you to the University of Nairobi once again. I know we've met on Wednesday. We're going to be meeting many times. So welcome to the University of Nairobi. Feel comfortable. I know you've had quite an incredible journey coming to the University of Nairobi. And it will be, for sure, an incredible journey as on your journey to becoming a medical doctor. It's a journey that many here will remember, and for sure you will remember it and you'll treasure it for the rest of your life. You are coming to medical school as the 56th cohort. The Faculty of Medicine began way back in 1967, and you are joining, a journey that others have followed, but yours is also unique. And this is also a time of challenges. We are living now in a post-pandemic world. There are new elements that will require new ways of thinking, new technologies, new ways of addressing it. And these challenges will fall squarely on your young shoulders. But we are going to prepare you for it. At our Faculty of Health Sciences, the University of Nairobi, we will give you a firm foundation in which you will base your medical career for more than 40 years. And we have at the University of Nairobi Medical School the top teachers you're going to encounter. We have the largest teaching and referral hospital at Kenyatta National Hospital, which is the largest and the oldest in this country. It was founded in 1901, and you are going to encounter a very good experience in your training. We have top researchers in this university. We have the top students. You are joining as top students as well. We have the best associations here, Amsun, KMA as well, isn't it? So you are joining a great place. You should feel happy that you are joining here, and we'll be here to accompany you in this journey to ensure that you succeed. Today, as you put on your white coat, remember also that you are going to put your patients first. If you're around the hospital and you have a white coat, many people will not know that you are a student. So your responsibility as a medical doctor begins today. You must begin thinking like one. We also remember that, you need to be virtuous. You will need to be compassionate, honest, and you're going to have a life of service. And that really begins today as you begin this journey. So those challenges are there. I've been told you've been here a long time. So I'm not going to give, a speech. And with those few remarks, let me welcome you once again to the University of Nairobi. Thank you very much. MC, what is the next part of the ceremony? You can come.
So thank you so much, Professor Sanjo, for your address. So we are going to the last part of this ceremony, which is the reason why you're here. And so we'll have different stations for clocking, and I'll ask the doctors who've spoken and the professors to position themselves strategically So we can have Prof. Obimbo here, just where you are, you know. You should not move very far. And then we can have Prof. Sanjo just where you are, or should he stand on this? Or on this stage, you just remain on the stage. Then we can have another doctor here. Yes, Dr. Brenda, you can come here. Najua sponsor inafaa simame katikati. Anyway, if you not understood that, clap for yourself. You're probably going to heaven. So, Dr. Brenda, stand here. Thank you. And then we can have Dr. Mibei on that aisle. Where you're facing will come. At least just stand there. Dr. Mibei can stand there. Then Dr. Njeri can go on that aisle, that other aisle, that one there, just there. And then the representative of our, let us spare the government. Okay, you can just stand here. So I'll call Sandra. So ulikuwa unakuja, Okay, if you go by the name Andrew Kimanthi, raise your hand. Andrew Kimanthi. Andrew Kimanthi. Yes, come. This one was chosen to be cloaked by the dean. So kuja, mpigia makofi. Nimeuliza mbona alichaguliwa. He was just chosen. He just looks nice, or he's just lovable. So karibu sana Andrew. Na ukuwe mtu mzuri. Unajua uvalishwe na dean. Dean akikuvalisha, you better. So you just come on stage. Mpigia makofi, he's representing. Na naona ako na warembo, ako na mafans. So nashangilia Andrew. So Andrew, come here. So yes, wanalia tu Andrew Kimanthi, Andrew. So I think we'll make files. So there'll be a file there. Kindly, the people on the karibu niseme wechuli. So wechuli hawezi kulokiwa. So line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kindly make a file on that side. Oh, mnaweza stand in a line. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6 kwenda, you can come on this aisle. And then we can have line 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on this aisle. Munachangamuka majama. Sai ni 6 na ni Nairobi na ni Friday. So 1, 2, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Musimame hapa. You know, some of us are not in. Some of us we are going for locums. So we are tunangoja huko Nairobi hospital. So you can stand here. Tulipeleka barua ya dini nasema they have finished awaiting graduation. So these others, the others on that, the 2 lines behind that, you can join them, and then the other 2 you can join this aisle, so that on this one, you guys, all of you can come on this line, and all of you can form a line there because you're not so many. Yeah, so yes, you can start. So, so Professor Sanjo is clocking Andrew. So pigia makofi. Yes. Clap for Andrew. Ladies, clap for Andrew. Najua wanaume wako na. So yes, clap for Andrew. Who knows who Andrew might turn out to be? Who knows? Might be the next dean. So just clap for Andrew. Can be saying, I saw Andrew. So yeah. So I think the process can begin on the other lines. And at least for every line there should be someone taking a photo, even if it's just by phone. Piga watu picture. Yes, if you want to be clocked by the dean, you can just come up confidently. Kuja tu. Hata usisikia aibu. Just come. If you want to be clocked by the good professor, you can just come. Yes. Excellencies. Hey, hawa ni wajanja. So, can come and transfer some knowledge by osmosis. And just come here. Who knows? Pharmacology labda itakusumbua. Some of us maybe lacked nyota yetu ilichukuliwa hapo ya pharmacology. So guys, come. Yes, and one photographer can also take these other guys on this other cues so that, okay, yes, yes, yes. Clap for her. This lady is almost laughing. She's just excited. Your future is bright. I have prophesied. I just saying as a prophesy na upite juu. Yes, you guys look handsome. You guys look beautiful. Nah, guys, mnakaa fresh bana. So this is Vision 2030 launching here. So guys, na mmekuwa wengi hapa juu. Hey! Aya. That queue is short. You can go to that side kama unaona. The queue is moving faster there. Watu wa serikali hawatakangi kutukalisha sana kwa mambo kama hii kama mshahara. So just go that side, just go that side. Just go that side. Those guys wa serikali, they are moving fast. This one's chat one line. This line is okay. Dr. Mibei is taking his good time. So wale wako kwa Dr. Mibei huko nyuma mnaweza songa huku. Huyu anaweza maliza kesho. So you can just come this other side. Yes, yes. Yes, congratulations. Cynthia, jipigie makofi even as you put on your lab coat. Yes, jipigie makofi. Maisha ni kujichocha. Hey. Clap for yourself. So, Odira, this is a fourth year student, this one. Just for your information, this is a 24-year-old neonate. But anyway, it's a good clap for this guy. Odira, clap for yourself. Okay. Ushavalishwa. Sorry. There is a Kureshi here. So, unaona watu wa Ops Gain. So, clap for Kureshi. Msimupigie Kureshi makofi. Na ndiye aliwa terrorize wengine hapa kina Ndusi hapa 50 year. So, for those who've received their codes and didn't have meal cards, you can go and register outside or pick. You can go and pick your meal cards at the jitu acha kusumbua from. Sasa uko hapa. Wakuje hapa. Uko nazo hapo. Or you can come to this front row and see G2 and pick your meal card if you didn't get a meal card. Aya. Aya. Yes, and this one due to special request, she's called Ikram. Mnaona huyu? She's called Ikram. So clap for Ikram wherever you are. Mpigia makofi. Hey, ukisema jina tuna request tunaita tu. Jina ukirequest tunaita. So Ikram, congratulations for joining the medical fraternity. Some of you can go to that line, or as Dr. Nyotu left, mnataka Dean, haya. Kama mnataka Dean, say no more. You can just kujeni mbalisha na Dean. Yes, wale wamevaa mnaweza mkatulia kidogo. We are just going to take, I think, a photo and then we'll be done. Then you'll have your meal as you go. So let's just be patient a bit for those who are still being cloaked. Yes, yes, yes. So watasoma pamoja. But kila mtu akona staff ama to project. Yeah, some people already have red name tags. This is the way. This is the way. Clap for this. Clap for her. She has a red name tag on day one. So that is good. That is good progress. So kindly let's sit down. They'll project the oath. Then after the oath, you'll go directly and take your meal as you get directly into the curriculum. Africa. Oh. The pronunciation is Africa. Africa. Mumbi Africa. Mumbi Africa. Tania Dina. Aman. Aman. You said your name is? Aman. 1, 2. One, two. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. They're just going off. 1. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. Can you guys hear? So there's a lady here called Mumbi Africa. Where is Mumbi? Yes, Mumbi, just look at us. She's called Africa. She's Africa and she's in Nairobi. Clap for her. Yes, she wanted a shout out. And then there's a guy called There's a guy called Aman here. Aman, someone, he wants to say something.
No. Uh-huh. A man for class rep.
So Aman wants to be class rep. Aman for class rep. How many want Aman for class rep? Hey, I'll vote for him. So clap for Aman once again. Where is that guy?
One, one, two, one, 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 two.
Yeah, this guy is called Yusuf. He wanted a shout out. He said he's called Yusuf. So congratulations, Yusuf, on your cloaking. Yes.
Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, check.
1, 2. One, two. 1, 2.
Yes, so I think we should all be done. So there's just one thing left and then we leave. So all of you, I think all of you have an oath you are given. Sawa, ka pamphlet kalikuwa na mavitu zimeandikwa. So let's settle down so that we finish, then you can take photos at your own leisure. Yes. I think it's only the dean that's left, which is okay. So watu wangu wa PowerPoint. Masiaga, kindly come and project the oath. There is somebody here who looks like she wants to do something sinister. Unataka kufanya nini? Fanya tu. Piga picha. Nadine, panda, kuja upige picha na Dean. Dean ni wenyu. University ni yenyu. So, yes, thank you so much. Dean. Yes, this one wants a selfie. Let her just take a selfie with you. Otherwise, she will not sleep. So, mpigie makofi. Huyu ndio inafaa mchague class rep sasa. Akona Dean, anaweza mblackmail amwambie wewe. Nitaweka social media. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much. So kindly let's take our seats. Tafadhali. Those gentlemen standing there, let's just take our seats for a minute or two, and then we'll be done. Tafadhali. So, wait, Joel. Kindly put up the oath so that we can conclude. So how many have the pamphlets they were given that has the oath? Okay, sawa. Waike. Ntusi? Is Ntusi around? Ntusi? Okay. All right. So you can settle down now. Yes, we'll take more photos after we are done, kindly. Tutalala hapa juu ya picha. Tafadhali. This is not a wedding, this was a cloaking. Tafadhali, tutapiga picha later. Yes, so for those who are still outside, kindly let's come in and let's conclude this with the oath that is about to be presented. Aya. So, you want to take your oath seated or standing? How many want standing? How many want seated? Those who want standing say aye. Seated say the have it. So standing, let's stand. Lakini mjue medicine inanga democracy sana. Most times you'll just be told to do. I don't have a choice. So I think the projector is still coming up. Pole pole. So kindly, we didn't take an oath ourselves. I think this is a serious thing. So you should, yes, commit. If you're a parent, you can just remain seated. So are you ready? Hey, hey. Thank God you've not come with your parents. They'll be like, ngai, ngai, ni, ni, ni. So, if you're ready, can you all see? Eh? Huh? That one has let us. I didn't have to come and climb up and. Oh, steamer. Somebody can switch off the lights. Or it's also been sent on your WhatsApp. So if you have privilege to have some bundles, you can download. Najua nika PowerPoint kanaweza kukula kama 2 MB. So you can open it on your WhatsApp. So can someone switch off these lights? Ule mtu alizima ile mara ya kwanza. Where are you? Yeah. Aya, Joel, unajua penye stima, you can switch off these ones. You guys can't see kabisa? Okay, for those who can't see, I request you move closer. You also don't want to move closer, but you can't see? Okay. It's okay. Democracy. Hata hamwezi zima stima, hamsongi mbele. So what do we do? Can somebody switch off the lights? I don't know. Ni watu wa Amsun. Hamjui penye stima iko huko. A whole grandfather, babu. Hamjui penye stima. Okay, so I think we'll just make do with what we have. Sawa. So 3, 2, 1, start. Yeah, jipigeni makofi. That's nice. You sounded so nice. And now you can sit down. And so, thank you so much for coming for this white coat ceremony. I'll invite the chair of Amsun to dismiss us and to give a vote of thanks.
The Dean, Faculty of Health Sciences, faculty members, invited guests, parents, and my fellow students, good evening. I'd like to say that this entire session has been worthwhile, to say the least. It's been holistic, it's centered around wellness, planning, introspection. I mean, it's basically everything that I feel we missed out when we joined medical school. And this wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for your extreme patience. I believe, Professor Sandro, you actually spoke almost 3 times today, just changing the timing, and you still showed up in the end. And Professor Bimbo, Walt, I mean, all our guests, you've shown so much patience and dedication. And parents as well. I mean, we could have all been doing something else today at this particular moment, but you've literally sacrificed this entire afternoon to commemorate this monumental day for your sons and daughters. And the truth is, this wouldn't have been possible without our able sponsors and also the tireless efforts of the committee that made this work. Babu, G2, Kanga, Sandy, OJ, Craig, Best, Hanif. We also have Charles Mawio, Ramesh Saxena, who over and above being a governor still threw his weight behind us. We also have Queen, we have Chris Kamula, we also have Jacob Mboya, and we also have Joel Masiaga and Gonyancha. I mean, your dedication, your sacrifice, and your drive has made this possible. And for that, we're all deeply grateful. So I'd like to leave it at that and encourage you as you start off your journey, just know that you are capable, no matter how tortuous and challenging this journey ahead of you seems. Just throw your weight behind everything that you do and behind that of others. Don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid to try out different things. Engage in art, be creative, and learn to express yourself differently. Try coding and innovate solutions in your own way, and even run and engage in cardiovascular health to keep your mental health intact. And so I'd like to leave it at that. I can be a bit verbose sometimes. So thank you everyone for making this wonderful session a success. We can basically clap for ourselves. And now, I guess we move on to the next part. So the ceremony is officially closed. We have lunch. Kindly, sorry, late lunch. You can call it Lina, Lapa. It's yeah, but feel free to engage, know each other, connect, because these meaningful friendships, as Walt said, are the ones that will carry you through the next decades. So thank you.